So in this video, we're going to talk about how to install a solar attic fan. So a solar attic fan harnesses the power of the sun in order to spin this fan that's actually going to work to cool down the attic. So what this does, it does a couple things. It's going to increase the life of your shingles because the shingles are going to get less hot. It's going to get the attic hot air out and cool the home. It's also going to save on AC costs. So the first step on this is determining placement. So when you're installing a solar attic fan, about 5 to 6 feet from the ridge is going to be best. That way it doesn't work against the ridge ventilation. The other important thing about placement is to consult with the homeowner because it's going to be an aesthetic detail from the street that you're going to be able to see. So we always want to make sure that they're okay with where it is. Usually south facing is going to be the best, as that's going to get the most sunlight, but the essential thing is you want to make sure that it's going to get as much sun flow as humanly possible. So when you open up one of these solar attic fans, you're going to have a few components. You're going to have this is your hardware box. This is in order to mount the fan up. Save this, you'll need it later. The other thing is there are a few pieces of documentation. The key one is this one here. So this is an instruction guide, but then it's also a warranty. So this warranty has to be registered with the homeowner by the project manager. So keep this and make sure that you register that with and for the homeowner. The other thing that is important as soon as you open these up is on the bottom side of the fan, where the thermostat connection is here, it is zip tied together with these red zip ties. These need to be cut so that the thermostat can hang down. This is so that it can work properly to detect the temperature in the attic and actually have the fan run. But also, if this is touching this black metal, it gets very hot and the thermostat can get damaged. So it is important that we cut these zip ties and allow it to dangle down. So the next step is to mark off where the roof's rafters are. So if the roof is 24 inches on center, we're gonna go ahead and put the solar attic fan directly in between. If the roof is 16 inches on center, solar attic fan would sit on the middle of one of the rafters. In this case, we're 24 inches on center and we have them marked off. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and mark the radius of the solar attic fan on the material in order to cut it out with a Sawzall in order to get the hot air having access to the fan. So the next step is that we're gonna take a reciprocating saw and we're gonna go ahead and enter it in and then cut around the radius that he has created. We have a screw set in the center. The reason for that screw is that when Gavin is done making his hole, we're gonna grab the screw and pull out the wood so it doesn't fall into the homeowner's attic. So next step is we have ice and water shield underlayment laid around this opening, and then we've laid roofing cement underneath where the flashing is going to sit. That's a very important step. We have our first shingle ran up to this point. Now we're able to set our solar attic fan down onto this hole. I want to make sure that always these penetrations embed well into the roofing cement. Double check, make sure that we got it lined up here. That looks pretty good. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be fastening this in with these Phillips head flat screws. We wanna use screws rather than nails on these solar attic fans. So the next step is that we're gonna install roofing cement on the top side of this flashing, extending a minimum of 4 inches past the edge. This is going to seal in our shingles as we set our shingles in place. All right, so the next step is that we're gonna install each shingle cut around tightly, as we can see, avoiding having any of these shingles directly on a middle seam there. And then we're gonna step cement around it, which is gonna seal each shingle around in case of wind events. So the next step when you're setting up a solar attic fan is to go ahead and set up these brackets. So what these do is these hold the panel into place, but also it allows us to set it at the correct angle that we want to get the most sun exposure. So on this roof right here, I've opted for this second angle right here. We're facing south, and that's gonna get a lot of sun. So then we're gonna go ahead and use this hardware that's included to fasten this down. So quick recap. So solar attic fan is installed 5 to 6 foot down from the ridge. The shingles are step cemented and sealed in. The solar panel is fastened with a Phillips head fastener tight. We are facing south with correct sun exposure in a centralized spot on the home, and that's how we cool down an attic.